I can give you the tool set. In fact, that's what we do here at CashFlowDiary, is that we give you the tool set. Our tool set is called the Mastermind. That's our entry keywords, entry level tool set. Now here's the challenge. Based upon what you believe, you are already struggling. You're like, oh God, he's gonna try to charge money for something. Now here's the truth of the matter. You already know every business charges money for something. And if charging money then means it's a scam, then the grocery store is a scam. Don't forget about that. So they charge money. And at the gas store, and don't forget about utilities and everything else. Your framing is what I'm shaping up here for you, but I just want you to see this. So the tool set, I know that we've got the best tool set. I built it, I created it. I literally invented it, as in things did not exist, created a tool set, have documented it, and make it available for other people because I enjoy helping Black men specifically become bigger, better, badder than they currently are. Helping them to do two things, because this is all I'm after. All I want you to do is believe and build. Now, it doesn't mean you gotta be a Black man to believe and build, but it does mean that you gotta believe and build, whoever you are. Here's the thing. Right here, because if you can believe and build, when you hold the correct frame, you will develop the skill set. See, part of the building of a business is understanding words, meaning also communication, meaning the level of communication you currently have means and is directly proportional to the level of leader that you are. And you cannot, hear me clearly, build a successful long-term business without learning to lead a team of people. Oh crap, that looks like a pyramid where you are at the top, CEO, and you have a whole bunch of employees at the bottom. This beginning to look like a pyramid to you? See, how you think about words and things matters, because you would never endeavor to build this situation if you think negatively about things like pyramid scheme, MLM. It's how you're looking at a thing that's in your way. It's preventing you from seeing what's possible. And if anything, all I'm doing is using words, teaching you the vocabulary, because a lot of us, we speak the same language, but we have a different vocabulary. And what's coming down is that I'm helping you to get out of your own way, because I want you to have access to this tool set. And you can. I know for a fact you can, because I've finally done enough work to make it possible for everybody to have access to this tool set. And I'm excited about it, just a little bit, okay? Now, the reason why this is important is because the objective fact is, right now, today, the first time you do things, you're not any good. So what does that mean? That means every master, how many is every? Every means all. Every master was once, past tense, was once a disaster. Every master was once a disaster. Boom, right there. And the difference is practice, drill, and rehearsing. It's practice, drilling, and rehearsing, which is an activity. But guess what? You would never do the activity if the only thing you have in front of you is dread. If you have decided that I can't get to the outcome, that doesn't work for me, AKA, here's a phrase, write this down. Tell your friends, everybody, shout it out loud. Wealth is for everyone. That means me. Wealth is for everyone. That means me. Wealth is for everyone. That means me. Now, the first time I heard that, first time someone told me that, I had a little voice in the back of my head and it said, not you, you're a liar, you're Black, you're too tall, you live in Orange County. There's no way, you have no college degree. Everything that I'm not is what my subconscious was suggesting to me, okay? And that may be true for you. We all start somewhere. Wealth is for everyone. This is another belief right there. It's an objective fact. I believe that wealth is for everyone. That means me. God created Eden, had it protected. God's protected provision was there. And then somebody came along and got us to focus on the one thing we couldn't do, lack. The one thing got us to focus on lack. And you know what? Oh my God, he changed our frame around something that happened. And now it's like, oh no, what if I don't know that one thing? And that's the one thing we're focused on. Now, mind you, we had to pass all of the abundance to get to the one thing that we don't know. Ooh, and we still do this today because we get focused on the one thing we don't know. But so despite how much abundance may be in front of us, we still won't recognize it, okay? So every master was once a disaster. And if you don't hold the correct frame, I don't care how good the tool set is. I can give you the best hammer right now today. And here's what I know about that. Unless you practice with the hammer, you will never build anything. This is one of my favorite cameras. It's which one is it? So yes, this is the Sony ZV-1, Z Victor 1. Z Victor 1. Now, it's not that expensive in my opinion. And when it comes to a camera, it's like $800 or something like that. Maybe $1,000, depending if you get the accessories or whatever. And that means the only qualification for you to own this camera is to have $1,000. Great, that's easy. Does it guarantee that you'll make a good image? The answer is no. It's because the camera, especially at the beginning, knows its job better than you do. See, your skill set matters. Your skill set absolutely matters. And your skill set doesn't improve unless you practice, drill, and rehearse. So Jay, what does this have to do with short-term rentals? Everything. Because how many times have you talked to a landlord about renting their property? How many times have you talked to a landlord about renting their property so that you can then rent it out to someone else? See, if you've done that 0 times, then you are currently a disaster because you've never done it. You have to practice, even if you do something else really, really great. You know what? You could be the best longshoreman on the planet. But the moment you step on the basketball court with Michael Jordan, you are a novice. You just begun because he was once a disaster, has become a master, and has probably forgotten more about basketball than you could ever learn. Does that make sense? The same is true here. We hold these unreasonable expectations of ourselves, even though today you've never done it, but yet you think that, because here's the thing, you think that, well, Jay, just give me the script. Okay, cool, no problem. I am going to give you the script. I have no problem with that. And you have not practiced it at all. And you think you can go out there and get a yes, because now I've got the script. Yes, you do, but you're horrible with it. That is the difference. Because see, and therefore, because you're still horrible with the script, even though it's the best script, here's what happens. You hear no 1 time, maybe 2 or 3, takes you 2 months to get to that place. And then you go, I've been doing this for 2 months. And I'm like, what? You've tried 3 times, like 3 times. So you actually hold the expectation that after trying 3 times, you should be great. What? No. Or worse, here's what you do. Okay, the script must be bad. So you start blaming the tool. Or then you go, you know what? Because this is what most people do. You know what? I'm just going to buy the property instead. Like that's a shortcut. It's not, right? Because now you don't have to talk to the landlord. Whew. You avoid doing what you should do in order to have what you say you want because you perceive it to be the path of least resistance. Now, mind you, I could show you the math that proves to you, and I'm going to show you in a minute, that buying is never more profitable than leasing at the beginning. I want you to lease at the beginning. It's very strategic, intentional. Buy later, okay? But first time you've done it, you got to talk to a landlord. See, that's a skill set. You got to learn to raise capital. Every entrepreneur has to. So regardless of understand what I'm saying, I don't care what it costs you to learn a thing or do a thing. I don't care how much property you have today. You could have 200 apartment buildings. You still will need to raise capital. You'll run out of your own resources. You need to learn how to raise capital. You know what that is? When you learn how to raise capital, you know what that is? That's a conversation with a investor, which also means you may not know investors, which means you also need to learn how to market, which means there's a right and a wrong way to quote unquote market in order to receive a target. It's just no different than fishing. Now, some of you like fishing, I do not, but you get my point, because you got to bait the hook to suit the fish. But yet you want these super secret words that are going to help you raise all the capital, because you believe that the one thing that investors want is return on investment, when the truth is you don't really know. And what it comes down to is that that's not even all of it, because in order to build a short-term rental business, you have to hire people, you gotta learn how to fire people, you gotta learn how to train people, and you got to learn how to build SOPs, standard operating procedures. You got to learn the hardest part of this business is actually pricing. Okay, it's not finding, but you got to learn how to locate the correct locations for your short-term rental so that you have what you need to be able to serve your customer, which means you need to choose who you want, keywords, want, watch this word want to serve. And this is where most people, this is the number one mistake right there. Boom. Number one mistake. Someone write that in there. Write that in the chat. I need to see that. A whole bunch of this. That's the number one mistake people are making today, right now. Some of you are made it already. You've been here. You've heard me say it, and you still won't do it. Because you don't believe, you don't think you need to do that, because that, which is one of the most dangerous phrases in the world, is right here, is I already know that. Okay, cool. You already know that. I don't think you do. Because to know and not do is to not know. But this is the number one mistake people are making. The reason you don't know where in what your city to put your short-term rental is because you haven't chosen who you want to serve. The reason you don't know if you need a TV is because you haven't chosen who you want to serve. The reason you don't know with predictability if this particular short-term rental in this location on this street will work is because you haven't chosen who you want to serve. The reason you can't find quality cleaners is because you don't know who you want to serve. The reason that you're having trouble getting maintenance people. Hopefully I'm driving that point home for those of you who are possibly new and don't know what you don't know. And I'm trying to drive that home, that all of this in this category is a skill set. And some of you are going to find out that you are horrible, because that's what I found out. You're horrible at hiring people. But I had to find that out. But I found that out by practice, drill, rehearse, failing a bunch of times, then learning to outsource it and put it in somebody else's hands. But even though I learned to outsource the hiring, I still had to learn to come up with a job description, because it's kind of hard to tell somebody, hey, can you go get me a person that can do this without detailing what do this means? It makes it very, very tough. So you still need to know how to do that. And if you've never written a job description, then good, I hear you. This is a part of running a short-term rental business at scale. Remember what I said, if you only want one or two, ignore me. Don't listen, please, because I'm telling you more than you need to do. If you only want one or two, ignore me. We are for the person who wants to build a 6 and 7 to multiple 7-figure business. That is who we are for. And that this should be month, okay? I'm okay with this being year at the beginning, but at some point you should begin to think this as a month, and then this is again year, right? So it's like, cool. And it's all relative to your frame.